What up, YouTube?
What up, guys?
Looks like we flubbed that a little bit, but that's okay. People like seeing beautiful faces earlier rather than later.
You know what? I had something in mind that I was going to try to do, and it just didn't land. But it'll get there.
Kind of like Gerard Carmichael's opening monologue. It didn't land, right?
that's my opinion, at least from last night's Golden Globes.
Derpy's got some opinions. Austin Butler, end of discussion. We can all go home. Does that mean you liked Austin Butler winning, or you didn't like Austin Butler winning?
That's the important. You liked it. I definitely hope that means you liked it.
Pablo and I were going on a little bit of trip to the past, talking about video games. I've been watching some videos. Shout outs to Gaming Historian for having a great library of cool video game documentaries that he put together. Fantastic stuff. Go check it out. We were talking about Super NES and some of the games from the past. So it got me thinking, would you guys like us to do game content here? Like, obviously, we're not video gamers, right, Bobo?
No, and I will do the occasional game or something like that, but usually it's because it's based on a movie or something like that. You know what I mean? Like Evil Dead or like Friday the 13th. But yeah, I don't normally do games, but I play the hell out of games.
Yeah, we should see if that's maybe something our audience wants to hear or see. If so, do you want us talking about old school games? Do you want us talking about new games? Do you just want us shooting the shit about games in general? Or are you not about that life? You'd say, hey, stick to what you guys know, which is movies. Let us know. Comment below. While you're commenting below, why don't you go and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification to be notified when we drop more videos and when we do live streams in the future. But let's get it started. There we go. I was about to say, welcome to Who's the Master. You got it. Yo, Bob, what do you think about the Golden Globes?
Well, I mean, overall, I think you and I have both talked about how we don't really care about these shows anymore. They don't really mean what they used to mean. However, the Golden Globes has always been my favorite one to watch. A lot of that has to do with Ricky Gervais as well, but they always seem to be having more fun at the Golden Globes than they are at any award show. Like all the people there.
Alcohol is a hell of a drug.
Yeah, right. They're all drinking and getting buzzed. And so for me, that makes it more of a party award ceremony rather than like this prestigious, like, tiptoe event. But I honestly enjoyed this one more than I have in the past few that I'd seen, just because of it being more about the movies and stuff like that instead of it being so preachy. There were still a couple of things about with the Hollywood Foreign Press and all that, but for the most part, they were really accepting their speeches, thanking all the people that they loved, highlighting great things in cinema, and it was an award ceremony. So I appreciated that. How about you?
Yeah, man. So not gonna lie, I didn't watch the whole award show. I watched the highlights. I ain't got time to watch that whole award show. You gotta be kidding me. 90% of the awards I don't care about.
I only watched the first half.
I mean, I will say this. SAG Awards does a better job diversifying the categories to where you have more awards you care about, splitting it into genres, etc., instead of just doing best movie and then wanting me to care about best clapper, clapboard holder. I don't give a shit about that, all these awards that Academy Award throws out there that just bore me to death before they get to the main course. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree, dude. I mean, I remember it was just like some of the ones, it's like best sound design. It's like, dude, the only people that pay attention to that are directors.
Yeah,
like
I know where the industry is like, well, we want other people to have a shine, the people behind the camera who are very important, right? Sound design is very important.
Definitely important.
But your audience don't give a damn. You got a competition now, Academy Awards. I can go stream some anime that I want to talk to Bobo about and have him not watch it anytime I want to. I don't gotta sit through best sound design if I don't want to, okay? So sorry, sound design guys. I'm sure you're very important to film. I don't care about your award. I just don't.
Yeah, I don't care about any of that stuff, really. I mean, I honestly really only care about the actors, the score, just like maybe, what is it, 10 awards?
Yeah.
That's really what I care about.
And we're going to talk about those awards. We're going to talk about some of those winners. We're going to talk about Austin Butler. We're going to talk about Guillermo del Toro taking a shot at Bobo and his views on animation on live television. I didn't know Guillermo del Toro watches the stream, but apparently he does. and he's on my side, Bobo.
Yeah, he called me right after the award ceremony, and he was just like, "Hey, let me tell you," he's like, "You see my comment? It is animation." Terrible Guillermo impersonation, but
It is cinema. It is cinema, right? We'll talk about all that stuff. We're also going to talk about another award show that's coming up that nobody's going to care about, but they released their list of nominees, and we might as well talk about it, right?
sure.
We'll also maybe peruse the news and see if there's something interesting. Did you guys know that there's about to be a Red Sonja movie made? Neither did anybody else, but it's making some headlines, so we'll talk about it. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff to discuss. It should be a lot of fun, and hopefully all of you will participate as well, like my man Derpy here. All right, you horny content truckers, I fell asleep and also completely forgot it was on because of how important the award shows are anymore. Yeah. Most people that watched it fell asleep. Few people in the audience probably fell asleep too because a little too much,
Of course.
sip of the scissor, if you know what I mean.
Did you ever see that roast with Jeff Ross was roasting someone, and like Ron Jeremy was in the audience, and he starts roasting Ron Jeremy, and it was like at a nightclub, and then the people start laughing so much, and Jeff Ross is like, "Oh my God, is he asleep?" And they point the camera to Ron Jeremy, dude, and he's like literally just, would they? Kind of totally conked out, dude. This is before he went to prison.
All right, so which award do you want to start with, Bobo? I'll let you pick.
Well, I got us kind of set up right here so we can kind of look at this just when we need to.
Because that's what I was looking for. That's why I threw it to you so I could vamp discreetly.
Yeah. So, I mean, first off, I think it's definitely it's sad that they don't have their pictures for the composers because all these actors and everything they do, but for the composers they don't.
Like you don't need to see these dudes.
But the guy that won for Natu, which was early on in the show, was for RRR.
Yeah. So RRR, a lot of people always tell me, man, you got to watch this movie. And they're usually people that have never watched Bollywood or Tollywood. This is actually a South Indian, so it could be considered technically Tollywood movie. Because to me, like, it was a good movie. Don't get twisted, but it's also nothing that I haven't seen before from that genre. But for a lot of people, it's their first exposure to it. Tollywood movies are just fun, man. They're just designed to be fun, right? And so for a lot of people, they enjoyed that. And I'm glad to see it getting some shine. Should that score have beaten Lady Gaga? I thought the score was fire, but I don't know what's for everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I don't think that personally that Lady Gaga's belonged in there. I think it was because it was in Top Gun. I like Lady Gaga a lot. I really do. And I loved Top Gun Maverick. I thought that song, the chord progressions and everything, and it was just kind of generic. Honestly, I thought the Rihanna song was way better. I thought that the Weeknd song for Avatar was way better. I'd be lying if I said I knew the Natu song. I didn't, but I knew of RRR because of all the buzz that it's getting.
Yeah, I thought the Rihanna song was great. Rihanna is great, though. Rihanna, people do not understand. People think, oh, Beyonce is the biggest musician. If you want to talk about globally, Rihanna clears.
She does. Beyonce's got her beehive here,
right?
And she's got Jay-Z on her side. So as a team, they're probably more like a royalty couple. But Rihanna, I think it's Rihanna. I got to keep saying that. I think that she prefers Rihanna. I think.
Are you sure about that?
I've always said Rihanna, but I've recently heard a lot of people say
you can call her Riri.
Riri is what I would, that we're tight like that.
Yeah.
No, I love her, dude. I think all of her music's catchy, and I think she can sing. And let's not to mention that she's exotically gorgeous.
Yeah.
So I love Rihanna, Riri.
Yeah, I would like to see Riri win. But I'm proud of my South Indian homies for holding it down and for winning an award. So we're off to a good start. Golden Globes. You got me here. Who is our next winner then?
Well, Derpy had put in the chat. Let's start off with Angela Bassett. So we'll go ahead and just get to her.
Okay.
For best supporting actress in a motion picture. Mm-hmm. And so first one for Black Panther to get a major award. It's been nominated, and oddly enough, Black Panther, the first movie, was nominated for Best Picture, but this is the first actual major award that MC movie has acquired.
Okay, so I love Angela Bassett's performance.
I love her, and I loved her performance.
And she's a GOAT, right? I haven't seen any of these other performances, so I really can't tell you if she deserved to win or if she didn't.
I've seen Jamie Lee Curtis in Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
And that movie's getting a lot of buzz. I haven't watched it yet.
She was cool in it. She has a significant part to the plot. Her role is significant, but she's not in the movie a whole lot. So I think for supporting, I think because of just the amount of time Angela's in the movie, I think that she kind of deserved it a little more. And Jamie Lee Curtis, the role that she's doing, it's not that you've seen that exact role, but you've seen so many different type of kind of character roles from Jamie Lee before that it's not surprising. And I just think that Angela, she deserves an award. And she made me cry in Wakanda.
You can make an argument that she's not supporting though, because in a lot of ways the story revolves around her.
I agree. She honestly, I wouldn't have been surprised if they just said best actress.
Yeah. So if you're maybe a fan of one of the other actresses and you want to try to say that Angela didn't deserve it without trying to diss Angela, I think that's the argument you make. It's like, listen, she was a main actor,
Yeah, and Derpy agrees with it. She showed emotion in the movie, and she did, and she's. I don't know if anybody saw her speech last night, but she's so well spoken and not that fierce, strong, like intense, powerful woman. You know how she's like really pronounces her words and she's not. Yeah, she's not so like that in real life. She's actually a lot softer and she's a little more like elegant and got this ladylike presence to her. To me, not only makes me see how much more talented she is as an actress, that she's actually transforming herself, but it's just like it makes her a little more kind of. I'm like, damn, I'm a little more attracted to you now, Angela.
Angela Bassett's a baddie. You don't need to be more attractive. Also, easier on the well-spoken thing. I know what you mean, but some people would take that out of context. So just.
Oh no. What I'm saying is
I
she
got you.
over enunciates like she's super strong, and in this she just has a little bit more of a. It's not. I didn't expect her to be like that.
No, and I hear that about her in real life, that she's a very warm, caring.
Mm-hmm. That would have been a better word. Warm,
unimposing person, as opposed to, you're right. Every role she has is just this powerful, almost imposing figure.
And in American Horror Story, I mean, especially season 3, she plays like the coven mother of a bunch of witches and voodoo stuff in New Orleans. And she's a mean girl in that.
Yeah. Okay, well, we got some other categories here. Supporting actress in a TV series, musical, comedy, or drama went to Julia Garner. I haven't watched Ozark.
I've definitely watched Ozark. I haven't seen this last series, and I'm getting to her real quick before I pull her up. But I haven't watched the last series, but she is awesome. And she was also awesome in, what was it, Inventing Anna? Where she played the girl Anna.
Yeah.
That, swindled everybody.
Yeah, she was great in that.
Really good. No, I think she's awesome. And my mom and my stepdad, they think that she's the main reason to watch the show. Okay. As far as performances are concerned.
Yeah, listen, I got no issue with her winning. Now, the next category is where I have my first issue. Okay. Supporting actor in a limited series, anthology, or motion picture made for TV. Paul Walter Hauser for Blackbird. Now, you may be asking me, what's your problem? What's your problem, Ansh? Shogun Singh, what's the issue here? The issue is not so much the actor. It's the role he won it for, because I think he won it for the wrong role. I think he should have won it for Stingray in Cobra Kai.
For sure, dude.
I'm just saying, man. Listen, I didn't watch Blackbird. He's probably great in Blackbird. Stingray is the shit. Stingray is completely underrated. Stingray deserves an award. I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying.
Well, he was clear. Oh, sorry. He was clearly.
I was just saying, what happened?
He was clearly a fan favorite in the Cobra Kai show because he was gone. I know they wrote that into the story, but I think that everybody was really happy when they saw that he was still in the mix. You know what I mean? Like season 4, you're like, oh, he's still here. And so I was happy about that.
Yeah. So, okay. So there we go. First issue. Paul Walter Hauser, you deserve your Golden Globe. You just got it for the wrong role. But I guess at the end of the day, at least the right person got the right award. Then again, Richard Jenkins probably has a case for Dahmer. The other shows I haven't seen, Pam and Tommy. I should probably watch it.
Look, okay, so Pam and Tommy, it's good. What's his name? Sebastian Stan does a good job. Mm-hmm. And the girl playing Pamela really does look like her.
Yeah.
But all it is just drawing out a dramatized soap opera play for you to watch of everything that you already know that happened. And it's not like there's a twist you're waiting for. It's just like, all right, so when's the part? Okay, you're waiting for the part for when to go public. So I liked it, but for me, it could have been a movie. Didn't need to be a series. And I don't know.
Is it controversial for me to say that I find Seth Rogen very mid in everything he does?
I think he's a better writer than I think I've kind of gotten. I don't want to say this bad because I want a career in film. Um, I know what you're saying. I don't think he's mid for me because he does make me laugh a lot, but I liked it better. But when he was like silly Seth Rogen, now he's kind of like gotten a little more serious, and I don't know, he's not making me laugh as much anymore.
You ever watch that Entourage episode where they just take shots at him?
No, I mean,
Yeah,
I own the whole season and I've seen every
the
episode.
creator of Entourage apparently did not like Seth Rogen because all he does is he has Turtle walk around talking about how it's ridiculous if Seth Rogen gets all these hot girls in his movies. You know, it's like, have you seen him? You know?
Yeah, especially in Knocked Up.
Yeah. Catherine Hahn, right? Yeah. So, yeah, he that's
Catherine
listen,
Heigl.
Catherine Heigl. I'm sorry, you're right. It's not like I don't like the guy. It's just he never really blows me away in everything he's in. And there's been a lot of stuff he's been in that I didn't like. Like the Green Hornet was trash.
That's one we will all agree on, I think.
Yeah, I was about to say, don't you dare defend that one, Bob.
No, that one was bad. That one was silly in the trailer. Like
Even
when I saw the trailer, I was
Express.
like, "Oh my god!" I like Pineapple Express. I think
It's
that's
decent, but I mean, let's be honest. He gets outshone in the movie by Danny McBride.
well. If you're on screen with Danny McBride, you're going to get okay. Well, get ready to just be second now.
Yeah.
Danny's just going to take over.
Yeah, in fact, I would think there were a couple of people, including James Franco, and I think Seth Rogen was probably the least impressive part of that cast. So, I mean, listen, I hate trashing the guy. I got nothing against the guy. You know, good for him for making. This is a guy that probably went into Hollywood, and every casting director out there was like, "You ain't gonna be nothing but a sidekick, homie."
Well,
and he's becoming a major star.
And he obviously resonates with some people, and yeah. So I mean, but I a lot of those movies that were coming out then just aren't coming out anymore. You know, The Wedding Crashers, that style of crude humor and everything. Like when we watched Office Christmas Party, you even mentioned it's like, yep, they can't do this movie anymore because of the way the world's changed. And so like that was partially what I liked about his humor, you know, and Knocked Up or in 30-Year-Old Virgin when he's talking about the donkey show and like, you know what I'm saying? Like that crudeness has left him. He doesn't do that anymore.
All right, so supporting actor in a TV series, musical, or drama, Tyler James Williams wins. This is interesting. Listen, I haven't watched a lot of these shows. You're gonna hear me say that a lot, by the way, people. There's just too much out there to watch all of them, right?
A ton of them,
right? But this category is interesting because we get a lot of very familiar names, a lot of legends: John Lithgow, Henry Winkler, John Turturro in particular, and Jonathan Pryce is no slouch, as is Tyler James Williams. What was your thoughts on his win?
I didn't see it, so. You know, I don't know anything about it, so I didn't really feel any way one way or the other about it.
Barry's a show I keep hearing a lot of good things about, but I just have yet to watch it.
Barry is good, and man, I was trying to find that that one you were just talking about, and I can't find it. It's not on here. It's not on the list.
Which one? Supporting actor in a TV series, musical, drama.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. I found it. My fault.
No problem.
Just to give you guys a reference of who we were talking about, what the guy looks like, that dude right there.
Yeah.
And Abbott Elementary got a lot of stuff the entire time, you know.
So what are your thoughts on Barry overall?
Barry is good. I think, but Henry Winkler's won some awards for that already. And it is funny that he won against all these, you know, old school guys, you know, like guys that have been in the industry for over 40 years.
Yeah. Like I said, legends. John Turturro, Henry Winkler. I mean, Henry Winkler, listen, everybody our age grew up with Henry Winkler as a Fonz, right?
Yeah, yes. He's a part of the zeitgeist of American culture.
Yeah, exactly. And then Jonathan Lithgow is, of course, one of the great actors. Now, this next one is interesting. Supporting actress in a limited series, anthology, or motion picture made for TV. Stifler's mom won an award, dog.
Dude, how crazy is that?
Yeah. I know. I think if she's been around for a minute, but for most of us, her most memorable role is Stifler's mom. Now, I haven't watched The White Lotus.
I've seen both seasons, and they're good and they're enjoyable. They're very much a fly on the wall show. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So like, it's not necessarily this crazy stuff that's going on, but you get wrapped up into it because you get wrapped up into the characters. And she's in the first two seasons. She's really the only connective tissue between the first two, this season 1 and 2. But she was hilarious in the show, and it's partially her playing herself.
What do you feel about the fact that we got two actors or actresses? I never know what term you're supposed to use these days because they go back and forth between both. Two actresses in the same from the same show dominate, her and Aubrey Plaza.
No, I think that's good. I mean, Aubrey Plaza, I think, probably did more of an acting job in this than Jennifer Coolidge. I think Jennifer Coolidge is just kind of, just doing her crazy, oh, really? What's going on? And
or Zsa Zsa Gabor.
Yeah, very much so. And so I think because of that, it's just that's her. Whereas I think Aubrey Plaza, she actually played like kind of a person in this. She wasn't April Ludgate from Parks and Rec. She was actually a person that's in a relationship that was getting suspicious about her significant other on this vacation, maybe cheating on her. And so you get to see her getting fumed up and all that. So I personally would have liked to see her win.
Nerds love them some Aubrey Plaza, dog.
They do. I like her too. I mean, there's something about her. I'm not going to lie.
She's weird, but sometimes weird girls can be attractive, especially when you're a nerd.
Awkwardly attractive is a term.
Yes, sir. So, all right. Well, you heard it here first. Jennifer Coolidge, Bobo doesn't think you deserve the award. We're stripping it from you. We'll give it to Aubrey Plaza.
Real quick, I want to say this again about Jennifer Coolidge. Not every day that you can be a person that's responsible, even though you didn't come up with it. You are the inspiration of someone coming up with the term MILF. And that's a phrase that everyone knows.
Now, did that originate from American Pie? I'm trying to remember.
I don't remember ever hearing that
since
before.
Bobo's breaking out the SAT words, let me reciprocate and break out zeitgeist as well. I don't remember that my zeitgeist as being part of the jargon.
I don't remember ever hearing that word until we're in the American Pie and watching that movie, and he was like, dude, she's a MILF. And everybody's like, what? And then when he says it, everybody died laughing because they had never heard it before.
Yeah, so then you could hate on the OG MILF and say she don't deserve an award. Damn.
No, that's of course, we got Tronchel. That's what I'm calling you now for the Troll and Anshul mix. But no, she definitely deserves the award. I would have liked to see Aubrey win it because I think that in that specific show, she just displayed a little bit more of her chops.
Yeah. We got some I don't know if I should call them legends or not, but Claire Danes is a Hollywood mainstay. She was the it girl back when I was a teenager.
Oh, I was about to say when we were junior high and high school, like My So-Called Life. Wasn't that what she was in?
Yep.
Yeah.
Which I never saw. I mean, it only lasted one season before.
Yeah, I saw that because I was, I think, best friends with a dude that his sister was like right at that age demographic where she wanted to watch that stuff, and it was MTV. So if we were watching MTV, it was cool,
Yeah. And
then Romeo and Juliet.
Well, let's kind of keep it moving here. Actor in a miniseries or motion picture for TV, Evan Peters, Dahmer, of course. Right?
Dude,
I didn't think this was going to win.
Well, I mean, Peters is incredible, dude. Sorry.
Yeah.
Like everything he's in, he's awesome. Now, I think Andrew Garfield was great in Under the Banner of Heaven. I think that Sebastian Stan was great in Pam and Tommy. I didn't see The Staircase and I didn't see Blackbird. But I know that Peters is just a madman. And while he did a great job, I know there were some things character-wise that they took a little bit too much liberty with that they made him a little bit more whack than he was as far as the way he would behave in public. Like part of what made him get by for so long is that he was completely normal in the public eye. And in this one, they made him weird all the time to everybody, like somebody stay away from, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, but I got you.
He did a great job though. I mean, he did a phenomenal job.
He did. And, here's the thing about Hollywood, no matter what, if you're watching a movie, obviously they always throw in hey, it's based on true events, but even documentaries. It's one of my biggest pet peeves is people that watch documentaries that think that they're seeing an unadulterated version of the proof or of the truth of the proof. That's not the case at all. Documentaries are very much done like films as well, where they take a lot of liberties in order to narrate a story and navigate a story. One of my favorite documentaries of all time is King of Kong. You ever watch that? Fistful of Dollars?
Yes, I actually
Fistful of Quarters, actually. Yeah.
About the dude that like wanted to get the highest score ever on it.
Yeah, and listen, there's a lot of liberties. Like if you go research the actual chain of events, they took a ton of liberties with that documentary. So, don't ever go into, long story short, don't ever go into one of these thinking that you're gonna be seeing an exact representation of
Yeah,
the truth.
these
'Cause that's
days
not
it's
what's about. It's
never.
about
Yeah,
entertainment.
it's not. Yeah, it truly is, and that was why I like. You remember with I can't remember the name of him, but that Lakers coach that was suing, uh, Adam McKay and the team for making the show on HBO, the
Hmm.
Lakers show. What was it called? Winning Time.
Yep.
And he was suing them because he was like, "That's not how I really am." And they're like, "Dude, while we're pulling it, and it's it is a scripted show, like, and it's
Yeah.
just this is better for the show." So he didn't win, obviously.
By the way, guys, I just dropped an invite for our Discord server that we just started in the comment section. Go ahead and join. That invite will be good for 7 days. We'd love to see you on the Discord and
Yeah.
start getting some more of this community rolling. Speaking of rolling, let's keep on rolling. On to the next category. I love this woman.
Oh, Amanda,
Yeah, Amanda Seyfried is one of my all-time
dude,
crushes.
she's beautiful, man. She's awesome. She's very talented. Now, I didn't see the one that she was in about the girl who's in all that trouble now with the blood test work.
Hmm.
That came out right around the time of Inventing Anna, and I was
Yeah,
just like, all right, I'm not watching two of these at the same time.
yeah, yeah. I didn't watch that one because the Thornos documentary or movie because I just wasn't really interested in that story. I mean, it's a crazy story that happened in real life, but I just wasn't interested. But she's great. She's amazing. Lily James was the girl that started as Pamela Anderson in Pam and Tommy, and that transformation was incredible.
It really was.
She looks so much like Pamela Anderson, or as close as you could look to uh, as Pam Anderson back in the day. Pam Anderson, one of the all-time bays. So yeah, I don't have any issues with this winner. I don't know. I mean, Bobo, you're the one that wants to take wins away from people. So what are your thoughts?
No, I honestly I didn't see it, so I can't say much, but I do love her, and I know that she does a good job in everything that she's in. Jessica Chastain, she does a great job in everything she's in too, but I gotta say, like, on the coattails of her playing Tammy Faye Baker
Mhm.
and The Eyes of Tammy Faye, and then playing Tammy or not Tammy Wynette right afterwards in George and Tammy, where George Jones' story. It was just a little too much of this like country girl act that I saw in both roles. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? If she would have done them like way further apart, she does a great job. It's just like I didn't I just see you do this role. So, uh,
yeah.
and Julia Garner, she won, for the Ozark. So it's like, hey, let's give it to Amanda. She deserves it as well.
I hate that though. She deserved it. She deserved it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, but I think when you're doing one of these award shows, when you're spreading out the stuff and the best stuff, you don't want to just like I think hers was what was Julia's for? Julia's was for
Best supporting.
best supporting, and this one was for lead,
Yeah.
right?
So if you're
So
Julia, wouldn't you rather win lead?
yeah, I mean, I guess so, maybe so.
Yeah. And there's the other Julia we're not even talking about, Julia Roberts.
Yeah, but I didn't see Gaslit, and I don't know.
People don't really care about her anymore. It sounds kind of mean to say it, but it's the truth, right?
I do, but I mean, I can see what you're saying.
Yeah. I
I'm
mean,
always going to be a little bit, making sure I'm not stepping on toes here because
yeah, yeah. No, I got you, but you know that nobody cares about her anymore. So we'll move on. Miniseries or TV film? The White Lotus won, beat out Dahmer, Dropout, Pam and Tommy, Blackbird.
I'm not.
Follow.
Go ahead.
Okay, go
Sorry.
ahead. No, go ahead.
I was just going to say I'm not sure that I would have chosen this over Dahmer because of the entertainment value. Like I found myself really like maybe that's not the truth because White Lotus, it does have you cliffhanging at every episode. And you're like, well, shit, let me watch the next one.
Yeah.
But Dahmer, I felt like that consistently through every episode. It was just it was really dark. It was creepy. It made me feel icky. There's scenes where he was eating, and I would have chosen Dahmer.
Let me ask you this: did Andor get nominated for anything?
Did what get nominated for anything?
Andor.
Andor. I don't know. I don't remember them talking. Oh yes, Diego Luna got
Yeah.
got
So
nominated for one of
now
the.
listen, it's not fair for me to make this comparison because there's a lot of these I haven't seen, and maybe they are better than Andor. And we haven't watched Andor. We've been meaning to. Pam and Tommy really better than Andor for it to not even get a nomination.
I mean, It depends on. I wonder if ratings have anything to do with this. It can't, because some things. Well, maybe that's Oscars. Maybe the Oscars is stuff where there's so many things like I never heard of that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe Golden Globes is partially because a ton of people watched Pam and Tommy. But again, I wasn't. But you make a very good point.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, once again, I got to watch Indoor to let you know, and I'll maybe come back here in a couple of weeks and pull a bobble and say they didn't deserve the nomination. But yeah, I wonder about that.
Well, and honestly, it's the next category that we were going to get to that he was in.
Yeah, actor in a drama TV series. The winner. This is no surprise. Kevin Costner in Yellowstone. The Return. We all love a good comeback in America. We love to tear you down, but then when you come back, we love it even more. We act like we weren't the ones that tore you down in the first place.
Sure.
Kevin Costner, after the Postman or whatever,
Stay off of my land.
He did some good stuff. What was that Western he did?
Wyatt Earp?
No, not Wyatt Earp. That was terrible.
Dances with Wolves?
No. He did one where he self-funded the Western, where he plays a rancher that used to have a past as a kid.
Open Range.
Open Range, thank you.
Yeah, with him and Duvall. That was a great one.
Yeah, good movie. Very underrated movie. Wyatt Earp was terrible because that came on the heels of Tombstone.
Yeah, there's no way that, Andrew and I were having this conversation yesterday. It's like, if you watch Wyatt Earp and never seen Tombstone, man, that was a good movie. Then you watch Tombstone and you're like, fuck Wyatt Earp. Tombstone is badass. And you never even felt badass when you're watching Wyatt Earp. But Tombstone is also. Did you know that Tombstone is directed by George P. Cosmatos, the guy who directed Cobra?
Oh, really? Yeah. I didn't know that. I do know that Kurt Russell and Kevin Costner have one line that's the exact same in both movies. I'm not going to let you arrest us today. And you watch those two scenes and watch the lines delivered, and Kevin Costner almost delivers it like he's just reading from a passage. I'm not going to let you arrest us today, Marshall. Or Kurt Russell just puts a lot of, I'm not going to let you arrest us today. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you got Dennis Quaid playing Doc Holliday after Val Kilmer playing Doc Holliday.
Yeah. Well, listen, I'm your Huckleberry. One of the all-time great lines in cinema. Let's not even get it twisted.
People love saying that line. And also,
can you imagine if some dude in a playground, you were picking a fight with Camp 2 and said, before this movie aired, hey, you want to go out by bike racks? I'm your Huckleberry. Oh. Everybody would have laughed at that dude. They'd be like, bro, I hope you get your ass whipped by them bike racks.
Oh, and it would have, if you were the person that somebody said that to, your confidence is slightly shattered a little bit just because you weren't expecting to reply like that, And now he's all of a sudden got the whole audience about to watch y'all fight on his side. Yeah. So it's like, and then with Johnny Ringo, when he shoots him and he's like, oh, come on.
You're no Daisy, Johnny.
Yeah. Poor. And I felt so bad because he was bleeding out of his mouth that whole movie.
Yeah. Tuberculosis is a hell of a disease.
Hell of a drug.
Actor in a musical or a comedy TV series. This is another one that's no surprise because everybody always talk about The Bear. Now, you and I have worked in the restaurant industry, but we didn't work in that type of restaurant.
No, not that sort of like high demand that never stops. I've worked on a food truck before, but even then there was end in sight. And if it was a crazy event, it was one event. It wasn't like, this is how this operates daily.
Yeah. So for those of you that don't know about the restaurant industry, Bob and I worked at a restaurant that was I guess you would just call it a casual restaurant, right? But then you have your star systems. Then you have like your Michelin stars, which those get crazier. Like Michelin star means you've got some of the best food on the planet. 2 Michelin stars means you have some of the best food and the best service. 3 Michelin star means you go above and beyond. For example, if Bobo and I are sitting in a 3 Michelin star restaurant, not only does the food have to be perfect, not only does the service have to be perfect, but let's say Bobo and I are talking about Batman. The waiter would overhear us talking about Batman and bring us a dessert shaped like the bat symbol. That's the kind of stuff that 3-star Michelin restaurants do. They go above and beyond any of the restaurant. It's the entire experience. You'll have like 11 courses, and then you'll have a break in between at like a coffee bar or something, between those 11 courses.
Yeah. So the Bear is definitely not that. It's definitely like a sandwich shop type place. But sometimes, man, those are harder than working at like a 5-star place,
Yeah. I just I went off on a tangent, not
no.
The show, but just to suffice to say, we haven't worked at a place similar to that. It can be very high demand. It can be demanding, But a lot of my friends that worked in the industry, like you, do relate to it a lot. I feel like there's a lot of the audience there is kind of built towards that relation service industry, you know?
Yeah. Well, it's sort of like we're institutionalized a little bit because I was in the service industry for like over 20 years. And you are sort of like, if that's all you've kind of known, that it's sort of like when people get off of work and then they talk about work, because it's like all you know. And so it's what you have to talk about. And so it's for me, when I see, I haven't watched all of The Bear, but I have seen a couple episodes, and it's very like, you're just in it. If you've been in the restaurant industry, you're in the show immediately. You're like, oh, I get this. Yeah, this is great.
What was that that one comedy about the restaurant where they worked with the knockoff Bennigan's starring yes, thank you.
Oh,
and I used to hang out at before Blue Goose, Bobo. There was a Bennigan's right across the street. That was my local hangout prior to that.
Oh, I know that we were there multiple times together. We just didn't know each other yet because I went to that Bennigan's a ton of times.
And I was good. I became really good friends with all the bartenders and the wait staff. And so I would hang out with them afterwards. I'd go to those parties like they throw waiting. It was all just so dead on,
So exactly right. And the stereotypes that they had of the people, the way some of the cooks were, the way you had the one bitchy girl that was coming. I mean, it was all perfect. The dude that wanted a free, the redneck guy coming in there with his girlfriend wanting a free gift card because his steak was overcooked, but he wanted to catch up on it. And all of that. It was perfect.
Dude, the drama too. I got thrown into drama, and I was just a customer. And
management trying to win you over, like, because no, you're better than them. That all happens.
Yeah, for sure, man. All right, let's move on to the next category. On to the next actress in musical or comedy TV series. Once again, man, this is I can't talk a lot about this. We should be talking about Janet Ortega. We've been telling our viewers forever we're going to watch the show. We haven't watched it yet, Bobo.
What, Wednesday?
Yeah.
Which one were you talking about? I apologize.
So Janet Ortega didn't win, but she's a nominee for the next category, right? Or did I skip one? I'm sorry, I skipped one. Musical or comedy TV series.
Yeah, that's okay though. No, Abbott Elementary again walked away with a ton of stuff, man. Best musical or comedy TV series.
Yeah, we just talked about The Bear, and the other ones we haven't watched. Wednesday though does lead us into our next category as well, because that's one
I've watched. Well, hey, real quick, I've watched Only Murders in the Building. That's really good. I really enjoyed that, but it is very Steve Martin and Martin Short style of humor while being a murder mystery. So, like, if it either is for you or not for you.
Okay, interesting. Maybe I'll have to check it out. We got Quinta Brunson winning for Abbott Elementary, and then, of course, of note here, Jenna Ortega for Wednesday. I bet you a lot of people wish she would have won.
Well, that show is super hot right now. So, I mean, yeah, I haven't seen all of Wednesday, and I haven't seen Abbott Elementary, so I can't really attest to it. Tell you what, I have seen The Flight Attendant, though, and she's really great in that. I don't think that Selena Gomez necessarily should have won it, so that's fine. But I can't say anything about Quinta. But I do love Jenna Ortega. She's a badass.
Selena Gomez fans, you heard it here first, man. Attack Bob on those mentions. we need the comments, Bob. I'm sorry, I'm gonna throw you under the bus. Let's get that algorithm. Let's get the algorithm up. Yo, Selena Gomez fans. Bobo says she sucks.
No, that's not the case. I love you, Selena. I think you're awesome.
Yeah, I'm just saying, man. Those will help our comments out. Actress in a drama TV series. This is another non-surprise. Like, we could have written this in before the year started. Zendaya and Euphoria.
Yeah, I think everybody knew that was going to happen. However, I would have loved to see Emma Darcy win it. That would have been awesome, just because we both love that show. But
I don't think she was the best person in that role. I think the other actress whose name is slipping my mind did a better job.
First girl.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I like one better than the other. I just love that character so much. So what I mean?
Maybe that's why she didn't win. Because there are two people that did that character so well.
It could very well be. I haven't seen The Crown. I'm just not interested. Laura Linney is awesome in Ozark. Kind of surprised she didn't get it since Ozark is on its last season. And I haven't seen Alaska Daily.
Yeah, Hilary Swank though still doing strong. Probably going to be in the next season of Cobra Kai. I'm just thinking, so because she was the next Karate Kid.
Dude, that would be hilarious. Now this is a side shoot discussion real fast.
Huh?
Is that in the canon of the Karate Kid movies? now that they've made Cobra Kai, because you know how Hollywood now is, they'll cancel out sequels and stuff because they restart a new narrative.
I think the writers have said it's canon. Now, where it would have gotten tricky is originally, this is where my nerdism comes in, where I'll just randomly read about stuff. Originally, Pat Morita wanted to have Johnny Lawrence have a cameo.
Pat Morita,
sorry. Wanted to have Johnny Lawrence have a cameo in the movie as a doctor. Like he goes to a hospital and Johnny's there as a doctor, working as a doctor, and they have a moment. That ended up getting cut, and it didn't make the film. That would have been the only thing that would have caused issues with it, right?
Yeah, I'm glad that didn't happen. Dang.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Because I love Cobra Kai, man. I mean, it's such a guilty pleasure, but it's like, watching those kids fight in season 2 in the hallways and they're kicking the teacher and stuff like that. I was like, I should not be loving this as much as I'm loving it, but it's awesome.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, if you're a child of the 80s, how you not love Johnny?
Dude, and the case that they make for Johnny, wouldn't you be pissed? Comes some new kid out of town and just steals my girl. It's like, yeah, I'd be pissed.
Yeah. What was that? It was a Quentin Tarantino rant where he talks about Johnny as or Daniel's the real villain of Karate Kid, and I think that's what spurred the whole idea.
Well, and then they do it on How I Met Your Mother with Barney Stinson talking about it, and they even have Ralph Macchio and William Zabka on there as themselves as actors.
Oh, I didn't know.
They're at Barney's bachelorette party, or at Barney's bachelor party.
Oh, interesting.
Hilarious. Yeah, it's a whole funny thing because it's like, no, Johnny was the real hero. It was that damn Daniel's son.
Yeah. Hilarious. And that's a good point, though, right? And that's one of the great things about the show, especially season 1. The thing that impressed me most about the show is they didn't do the standard white cap, black cap. Everybody wears the gray cap. Sometimes Daniel is an asshole, and sometimes Johnny is an asshole. And most of the time, they're really doing what they think is the right thing. They just, go about the wrong way. So,
they keep that going even for the last season. They still make them all just kind of mess up. But
now they actually have a true antagonist.
Right. Now they're good guys. Now they're both good guys.
Right. Let's we can talk about Cobra Kai all day. Let's go ahead and move on to
do that sometime.
Screenplay of a motion picture. We can probably just breeze through this one, huh? Would you say?
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, Mark McDonough, Banshees. Now, here's the deal: because of all the stuff, the coverage this Banshees movie is getting, I do want to see it.
Yeah, so same here. Even though it totally doesn't look like my type of movie. Director of a motion picture. This could be controversial, right? Now, you watched The Fabelmans. I did not.
I did. In fact, I've seen everything on here except for the Banshees.
Do you think he deserved Best Director? Because there's some discourse that maybe he didn't.
I love Steven. He's arguably, if you look at the success he's had and the amount of awesome movies he's made that everyone loves, he's arguably the most popular director of all time. Mm-hmm. But for this specific movie, which is slightly a non-Spielbergian film in the sense that it's a drama Spielberg film, not a Spielberg spectacular. I just think that what was accomplished with Elvis, what was accomplished with everything, what was accomplished with Avatar, it was kind of like when Avatar was up against for Hurt Locker. It's like, I just feel like more was accomplished with this film. And from a director standpoint, that's a lot to manage and handle. Again, Fabelmans was beautiful. And the set pieces were magnificent. The costumes were all of it was great. I'm not dogging on that movie. It was awesome. But we are talking about an award,
Listen, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I like the movie. And I have no issues with it winning an Oscar. But I always felt like a lot of the reason it won the Oscar is because it romanticized Hollywood's past. And I think that's what you get with the Fabelmans. I think that's what Babylon was trying to you never watched that movie, right? You never ended up watching it?
No, I will. I just haven't got to see it yet.
Yeah, I think that's the whole reason they made that movie is I thought they think they were going to Oscar bait themselves by just romanticizing Hollywood's past. Because listen, Hollywood loves it when you pat them on the shoulder and talk about their past and their history, and so I think that's why Fabelmans won.
You could have a lot to do with that, man. I mean, and it is a very nostalgic film in that sense, like old Hollywood. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. And it is great, dude. There's nothing there's very little negative to say about that film. And it's actually not even about Steven Spielberg or anything else. It's about an actor in it, but that's it.
Yeah. I think a lot of people are going to look at Avatar and James Cameron and be upset that he didn't win. Maybe he didn't even deserve to win. Banshees might have been a much better film, and maybe that deserved to win. Maybe Everything All at Once deserved to win. and maybe Elvis. But I think a lot of people are saying, yeah, we don't know about Steven Spielberg getting it, and I have to agree that once again, I think it was just because of the fact that the material spoke to the voters, and not because it was actually he was the best director in a motion picture.
Yeah, like, and honestly, this sort of seems like this doesn't seem like a Golden Globe move. This seems like an Oscar move.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, it's like I would have kind of expected you guys to give it to Daniel Kwan or to honestly Baz Luhrmann. Baz Luhrmann is the one that kind of expected to get it. Just because Elvis was just so creative, man. It was just it's like you were watching a living painting being painted, but to perfection every frame.
Interesting. All right, let's go on. Let's go to the next category because we're almost done with these, and we do want to talk some SAG nominees as well. Actress in a drama motion picture, Cate Blanchett, winner, chicken dinner. I don't have an issue with this. Do you?
I don't, because I know that she's a badass. I haven't seen Tar, and I've seen Blonde, and I was really rooting for Ana de Armas. Just have to say it. I haven't seen Tar, seen Blonde, and
why were you rooting for her though?
Because she did a phenomenal job. She looks exactly like Marilyn Monroe, and I think that she's been excellent in everything she's been in thus far. And I just would have liked to seen her get something. I know that Kate's gotten some stuff before. That doesn't mean that she doesn't deserve to keep getting awards. I just would have liked to see Anna. I think that Anna's been busting her ass, and I just think she deserved it.
I think maybe you lose points because it's so fictionalized, right?
It was.
Now, interesting. The Woman King is interesting because a lot of my friends who are African American or Black do not like that movie because they don't like the fact that, and I haven't watched The Woman King, so just take.
I haven't watched it either.
It romanticizes a group of people that sold their own people into slavery. That kingdom apparently sold a lot of its own people into slavery, and so it's pretty controversial in the Black Twitterverse because of that. I know there are a lot of people that don't like it. Now, I've heard some other people that watch and say, no, they address it. But a lot of people I know are not happy with the movie because of that. So, maybe it costed. I doubt it. Because it's a Hollywood Foreign Press, and what do they care about Black issues? As we heard about in the opening monologue, which we haven't really touched on, huh?
With Gerard Carmichael.
Yeah.
Look, I didn't have a problem with what he was saying. I just didn't think he was funny. He wasn't doing to me, it was not making me laugh. And we talked about this earlier that, he was under a lot of pressure and stuff like that. And I don't disregard that. I think that you're very right. And it's a televised program, and it's on the coattails of it not being aired last year because of non-diversity issues, all throughout, not just within the Hollywood Foreign Press, but just a lot of other things. So now, he makes all those jokes about it, and that's fine. I think that's great. I just don't know. He just wasn't making me laugh.
Man, it's interesting because obviously my brother's a successful comedian, and I, I've gotten to hang around with a lot of comedians. I hang around with them writing jokes. I know what their mentality is in going in with jokes, and he took a lot of risks. Now, those risks did not pay off. He made a lot of choices that did not pay off, but I know what he was trying to accomplish. So I don't fault the effort. And a lot of times, it just depends on the crowd. So if the crowd wasn't ready for those types of jokes, they don't laugh. Maybe we watch those jokes in a different setting, maybe with a majority Black crowd, and those jokes hit and the audience laughs, and we think they're funnier.
You're right. You're right. I think Derpy was talking about I was just looking at it. I think he was talking about the night before. The live reaction, that one to, is it this Sunday?
Yeah. If it is, let's do it. We can do a live reaction, Derpy. That's a fantastic idea.
So
Derpy, join our Discord, please.
I think it comes on. I would assume it's going to come on at 9 because that seems like a type of show that's a 9 o'clock HBO show. Because Game of Thrones is 9 o'clock. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we may have to stream that. We may have to do it where we're in our individual areas watching it together via stream, but we can do that.
Yeah, and we can. That's not a problem. As long as we do it later at night, because I have some stuff I'm doing during the day. But we can do it later at night. That'd be great.
Okay.
I'm down.
Well, yeah. We'll figure out. We'll figure out.
Because I am going to watch that because I love the game.
It's at 9. It's 85 minutes, fellows, according to Derpy. I may just have to come over. Because here's the one thing I'm worried about is like, the way streaming and buffering works sometimes, will we be watching it at the same exact time? Or will mine be a little bit ahead of yours or vice versa? Right.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I think that we're going to be on the right, because right now you and I are communicating properly.
Or we could watch it through the browser. I mean, it's going to kind of ruin our browsing experience, but if we want to do a true but we can't show it on
No, we
YouTube.
can't show it.
Yeah.
No, what I'm saying is that like you and I are in sync right now. So if we're in sync, I don't if we're off at all, it's gonna be my milliseconds. It's not gonna be like you're 20 seconds off of me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because we'll both be watching HBO Max, we're watching on the same platform, all that, and we're in the same region. So
Sure.
it should be fine.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
I think it'd be fun.
We're at 50 minutes, so let's kind of let's steam past these.
Up.
Animated feature film. Well, actually, we're gonna original score Babylon 1. We don't have anything really to say about this one, do we?
No, because none. I mean, John Williams for Fabelmans was fine, but I mean, it wasn't anything that stood out to me. It was just music for a drama.
Animated feature film. So this is something we need to talk about because, our boy Guillermo del Toro made a stand against Bobo. He almost damn near mentioned Bobo in the acceptance speech. Did you hear his words, Bobo? Animation is cinema.
Yes.
Despite what you think.
I thought of you when he was saying that. And so first off, animation is cinema. I do agree. I do agree.
Look who changes his tune all of a sudden.
For me, as I'm getting older, to like cartoon-ish looking animation, I just don't care for anymore. But like stop motion stuff have done well. I think it's really cool. I think Pixar style stuff is really cool. Like the style they did in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, very cool. But
Spider-Man movie.
I still am not going to ever. My favorite real filmed movie is never going to be, or excuse me, my animated film that's awesome. Even my favorite animated film is never going to be better to me than my favorite really shot filmed movie. Does that make sense?
I mean, I still want to try and make you watch a couple animes. Like even though it's an older one, Berserk: The Golden Arc Age, I think is an amazing story. But you gotta get past this. I think it might be easier if I make you watch an older animation because you'll expect that old.
Wait, but you see, I got to get past this. Like I'm a visual guy. Like to me, that matters. And if something is too like the way that I don't enjoy seeing it, I'm not going to watch it.
Okay. We'll continue this debate down the road and Bobo hating on animation and hating on animators. Maybe we'll try to invite some animators on to put Bobo in his place. But
not dogging on the craft. I'm talking about my preference of entertainment.
Yeah. No, you said it's not visually stunning. I got you. Supporting. No, I'm just kidding, guys. Supporting actor in a motion picture. We want to get to this one. Okay, Hu Quan.
Dude, I got to tell you, straight up, he got me in tears, and he was the first award.
Listen, guys, we knew him as kids. Not knew him, but he was a big part of movies as kids. Data. He was in Last Crusade. Yeah, and then he just disappeared. At least as far as I know, right?
Dude, that was what was so great about his acceptance speech because he started crying halfway through it, but he was just like, and I spent so much of my life wondering if I was ever going to be as good as I was when I was a kid, just a successful everything. And he's like, and these guys called me up and he's like, and then the past 2 years my life has been the best it's ever been. And he was like talking about his favorite person in his world and his whole world is his wife. And she was there. And it was just, he was crying, but he sounds just the same. His accent, his voice, he still sounds like Short Round. He still sounds like Data. Yeah. It was beautiful, man. It literally, like, I was so happy for him.
Yeah, man, it was great to see him come back. Like I said, America loves a comeback story, so good on him.
Yeah, dude, and he deserves it for sure. And everybody was like crying their eyes out. And he did a cool thing. He said Steven Spielberg gave him my first shot.
Yep.
They show Steven Spielberg in the background, and he's like, "I love you, buddy," and he like gives him a big old kiss like that. I mean, it was just awesome.
Yeah, Steven Spielberg, may love him, but he could have given him a job or two back in the day. I'm just saying,
Well, he wasn't a kid anymore.
I mean, it's like 50 years later, and Steven Spielberg's like, "Yeah, man, I always believed in you. Okay, you didn't believe in me enough to get me a job, but okay, all right, I got you, Steven." He ain't, Kay and petty like I am, because that's what I'd be thinking. So good on him, though, man. He deserves it. I'm glad for his success. Supporting actress in a motion picture, Angela Bassett.
Yeah, we talked about her.
You and I were talking. Did we talk about this earlier? Was this on pod or was this before the pod? I can't remember.
About Angela Bassett?
Yeah.
No, we talked. That was one of the first ones we talked about.
Yeah, okay, gotcha. Actor in a musical comedy film, Colin Farrell.
Deserving. Yeah. Very deserving.
Bullseye for Bullseye, right?
Yeah, dude. Best part about Daredevil was Bullseye.
This is his greatest role ever.
Do you not like Colin Farrell, or you do like Colin Farrell?
I do like Colin. I mean, I don't care that he's got this reputation. It's got nothing to do with me. As long as he's good in his roles.
I think he's straightened out too. Like the past few years, I think he's kind of straightened himself out. But I think I've always thought he's been a badass actor. I've always loved him in everything I've seen him in.
I just don't think he chooses roles that well, man.
That's what I was about to say. I said in everything I've seen him in. There's certain movies I haven't seen because I don't want to see SWAT. I don't want to see, movies like right. But oddly enough, Phone Booth was one of those ones that I watched accidentally because it was on like HBO or something back in the day when you actually just had HBO. I remember like enjoying it more than I thought it was going to be, but that could have been just because I was drunk, But
right.
But I do think Colin is a good actor.
Yeah. Diego Calva was nominated for Babylon, and I thought he was phenomenal in Babylon. One of these days when Bubba watches the movie, we'll get to talk about that. But he was probably the best part of Babylon, and I don't think it was even close. That guy's got just a certain charisma. Certain people, when they come on screen, all they have to do is give you a look, and that look speaks 1,000 words because they've got just this charisma oozing out of their pores. And I think
that's the X factor. That's the X factor, man.
Yeah, Ralph Fiennes, of course, he's a legend. Daniel Craig wouldn't be shit if it wasn't for James Bond. But I love you, Daniel. You're a good guy. And Adam Driver, of course, is the current golden boy that everybody loves as well. So.
You very much so. And you know what? Look, for Daniel's credit, I think he was doing fine before Bond, but we knew him in America because of Bond.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I don't know about his overseas career, and he may have been a big deal in England, but who cares about those colonizers?
Whoa, Paul's probably watching. Easy, my buddy Esmaniac.
Okay, no, you're not a colonizer though, Paul. You live here in America.
No, he doesn't. He lives overseas.
Oh, does he? Okay, just kidding, Paul. I'll buy you a chicken tikka masala next time I see you.
Yeah, remember this is worldwide viewers. We want worldwide viewers, Anshul. We're not trying to discriminate anyone.
Hey, it's all good. He can laugh at the fact that they oppressed my people for a long time. So
hey, look, that's not this type of show. Easy.
I'm just kidding, Maniac, and you know that. Foreign language film, Argentina. Don't really have a lot to say about this category. What about you?
Me either. I haven't seen any of them, and RRR would be the only one that I've even heard of.
Carol Burnett Award, Ryan Murphy. Good on you, Ryan. Good on Carol Burnett, legend.
Yes, she's a legend, but I do have to say for Ryan, I think this is awesome because when they did the little sizzle reel right before he accepted the award, you just realize how much stuff he's been behind, and it is pretty spectacular. It's one of those ones where you just can't name it off because it's so much. You know what I mean?
Yeah, listen, you could talk about Glee.
Yeah, Glee was one of them.
Yeah, American Horror Story.
Yeah, Nip Tuck. I mean, but there's more. Pose. He did the Dahmer one with Evan Peters.
Yep. All right, let's move to some of the big ones. Drama TV series. This is the one that we were all rooting for.
Yes, and this is
a show that brought us together, Bobo.
It kind of did. I mean, it didn't. It's what made us decide to actually start doing stuff. But we had kind of already started coming back together.
Yeah, that's right.
But I'm glad it won.
Drama TV series, House of Dragon. I got no issues with this. I guess some people, Better Call Saul, of course, is a great show. And I know a lot of people love Severance and Ozark. The Crown, I think a lot of people are hit and miss with that show. But, I mean, House of Dragon, we were all so negative on Game of Thrones coming this show. We were ready for the show to suck.
Yep.
And it went us all over. That's an amazing feat.
Yeah, this is the first show in a long time to where I was literally like waiting for 9 o'clock on Sundays. And then sometimes I wasn't able to do it, but when I was able to, I was literally like, all right, here it goes. And I hadn't done that for a show in a long time. Real quick, I want to go back to, because that mentioned Better Call Saul, and I just got to get to this, but it was right here. Bob Odenkirk. This is the one that I feel like he should have beat Kevin Costner for Yellowstone. Just because if you've seen Better Call Saul and you've seen Breaking Bad, like Saul Goodman is a badass, character wise. Anyways, I just wanted to bring that up since Better Call Saul was in the running for this other one.
Interesting, yeah. I haven't watched Better Call Saul because I never watched Breaking Bad. I get the last shit for that.
Man, that's one of the ones that
it's such a chore to get into. It's like so many seasons, and I never.
Look, 6 seasons. Mm-hmm. 2 seasons are only 9 episodes apiece. The other seasons are only 12 episodes apiece.
That's a lot. It's still a lot of episodes.
But they're not 23 episodes, though, at least.
I know, but most good TV shows are not that long, right?
No, you're right.
A lot to get through. Michelle Yeoh for actress in musical comedy motion picture.
Oh yeah,
there's going to be a lot of people that are going to say that the Hollywood Foreign Press did its best to make these awards diverse, and that's why a lot of these people won. And maybe they have a point, maybe they don't, but she's fucking awesome. And so I'm glad to see her win, regardless of what the reason is.
I wonder if you see what she does in this movie. Not only does she portray all these different roles, because it's sort of like without giving anything away, she like goes between all these sort of multiverses and also sort of quantum leaps while she's doing it, in the sense that she uploads these sort of skills as a different person, but it's like in another life, but she's having to switch between it. And not only does she play like different people constantly throughout, but she's still doing all that crazy kung fu and all that sort of, choreography. So, I mean, yeah, she deserved it, man.
Anna Taylor-Joy in The Menu is also a worthy winner. She didn't win, though. Margot Robbie in Babylon. Listen, Margot Robbie is a super talented actress. Of course, she's a beautiful girl, but she's incredibly talented. And she showed you that in I, Tonya. And ever since then, she's failed to impress me in her roles. She is another person I think does a bad job taking roles. And I think, although she does a great job in the choices she makes as far as acting ability, I question a lot of choices she makes for the roles. I feel like she's always playing Harley Quinn now. Some form or fashion of Harley Quinn.
That's unfortunate. That really is.
Yeah.
I haven't seen The Menu yet. I do want to see it.
Yeah, I've heard great things. Cecil B. DeMille Award. Eddie Murphy had a viral moment there where he made fun of Will Smith.
So,
well, not really made fun of Will Smith, but had some fun at Will Smith's expense.
It was perfect. It could not have been better done, in my opinion.
Right. And I'm sure Will even laughed about it.
He had to have at this point.
Yeah. Musical or comedy motion picture, The Banshees of Inisherin. Of course, we haven't seen that yet.
But I'm surprised it beat Glass Onion, because everybody's saying Glass Onion's really good.
Dude, I can't believe Babylon was even nominated for this award. Hey, you look at, it's not just me. For once, go look at the reviews, and for once, me and those stuck-up critics agree on something. That movie was not that good. I do really want to do a review of this because I've done a lot of research on the early days of Hollywood and how outlandish they make this movie, and just to find out that a lot of what they show in there is way over the top and way unrealistic. And so I think that really took away from what could have been a good movie.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it. Maybe we'll do the review when it comes out on streaming.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know if it's really. I mean, at this point, we drop a review. Everybody's already seen the movie.
But I mean, it's also Oscar time's coming up and stuff like that. Sure. So it'll be nominated, and people are still watching that kind of stuff. So it'll be worth it.
Okay, Fabelmans beats Top Gun Maverick. Listen, I love Top Gun Maverick. I did not think it was an award-worthy movie. I loved it. Avatar: Way of Water. Once again, do I think it deserves to be Best Motion Picture? Don't know. I mean, I go back and forth. Story-wise, even though it's better than the first one, no. But of course, the experience of it is like nothing you've ever seen before. And then Elvis, which I think most people would think, including you, that Elvis deserved to win. What do you think?
Elvis deserved to win, in my opinion, just because of one, something we haven't seen before. Avatar: Way of Water is awesome, and the accomplishment is amazing, but it is something we've seen before. And I think that the more and more I think about this, is like, I feel like that the director should get more of the credit for the accomplishment on this Avatar movie because of everything he was juggling and his vision and all that. Whereas Elvis, there's everything about that movie is gold. Like, and again, I just remember being moved. I remember walking out of that movie having that feeling that you miss having when you walked out of the theater as a kid, that's just that, oh, man, and I just think Elvis should have gotten it.
Well, not everything that glitters is gold, because let's go ahead and take this Elvis discussion to the next and final award. Actor in a drama or motion picture. Now, I haven't watched Elvis. A lot of people said Austin Butler was phenomenal Elvis. Here's the deal, though. We all know Brendan Fraser should have won for The Whale. We all know why he didn't win for The Whale. It's because he got groped and called the head of the Hollywood foreign press out for it. That's why he didn't win.
And there could be some truth to that, but if you haven't seen Elvis and you haven't seen The Whale, then look, dude, Austin Butler was awesome, dude.
Now, have you seen The Whale?
I haven't, but I'm not saying that he should deserve it over Brendan Fraser in The Whale, because everybody says he's amazing. But also, it could be a matter of preference. But I would like to see what would happen if Brendan Fraser wouldn't have made those comments.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I guess we'll see. The thing about the Oscars, a lot of times the Oscars loves to buck conventional wisdom, and I think they've gotten a lot of trouble for that, because there are a lot of Oscar winners that do not stand the test of time. I think we talked earlier about Hurt Locker. Good movie, right? Did not deserve the Oscar.
No.
You can go down. We should do that video, least deserving Oscar winners of all time. We should also need to do greatest year in movies in White's 1999. But
1999 was a good one. There was one more. 95 is pretty badass.
86, I think.
There's like a handful of years that were just like, whoa.
Yeah, I think we should reiterate best year in movies in our lifetime because we can't go back to
right. A decade is or a
60s.
year is going to be tough.
Yeah.
But look, overall, on the surface, it may look like that Austin Butler is just doing an Elvis impersonation, but he's not. And the movie, he prepared like a mofo, like you. It was amazing how much I saw Elvis in this movie and how you see him in multiple different parts of his life that really work. So I'm happy with it, but I'm not sure if, this whole Hollywood Foreign Press thing wouldn't have been different for Brendan Fraser if he wouldn't have made those comments.
Yeah. I mean, listen, he was a favorite going in until he made those comments. And then all of a sudden everybody's like, what? You're not winning. And
I could see him getting the Oscar.
Yeah, I think that he did, since he didn't win the Golden Globe, that actually increases his chances of getting the Oscar.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Because like I said, the Oscars love to buck conventional wisdom and say, "Oh, you won the Golden Globe, everything's going to win this."
That's probably what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Well, that's our list, man. Look at that handsome man right there.
Yeah. Listen, we were going to talk about SAG, but it looks like we don't have enough time. We can talk about the next video though. When does the SAG Awards happen?
Shoot, I'm not sure. We should probably have known that.
Yeah, because guys, we thought that the Golden Globes were going to air a couple days from now, so we're going to do nominees.
I'm trying to find it real fast, and this is some very interesting podcasting material. Right, February 26th. There we go.
Okay, so we got
a little time on that, but it's because they just released the noms.
Yeah, and listen, we won't make it a whole video about that because nobody cares about the SAG Awards. But maybe there's one or two nominations that we think are interesting. Maybe we'll actually watch some of these movies.
Yeah. Life is getting in the way for both of us. Anshul's trying to create some business ventures on his own, and I'm doing the same thing with filmmaking aspirations. And we got to pay our bills too, so we can't get it all done.
Hey, that's a good segue, Bobo. Guys, we're gonna do a Patreon only episode here shortly. We're waiting on one more guy. We may just do it ourselves, though. We want to bring a little something extra to Patreon, so we're trying to have one more voice. But if his schedule doesn't permit, it'll just be us. Patreon, we're gonna get a little bit more wild. You guys don't know this, but Bobo is a wild guy, man. He curses up a storm, always says all sorts of sexist shit.
I curse, but I don't say sex.
Has all sorts of conspiracy theories, always talking about smashing his sexual conquest. So no, I'm just kidding. But we'll definitely get a lot more wild and say stuff on the Patreon that we would normally never say on YouTube because algorithms and such. And we want to have a lot more fun, and we don't want to be muted. We want to be ourselves. So come join us on Patreon. We'll be dropping some Patreon only stuff. We're also going to try to start dropping other exclusives. But like I said, right now, Bobo is the head of creative, and he's busy doing this film that is going to be phenomenal. And you guys are going to love to see it when you see it. And so obviously that is top priority. So we've been holding off on some of the stuff that we would normally be doing. And a lot of that's kind of on me too, because I'm not creative at all, so I can't help out in the least bit.
No, that's not true. We're a good team.
But yeah, come join us on our Patreon. Also, Shogun of Cinema on Twitter and Instagram. Give us a follow. Facebook.com/BrassReel, and then go back up and join our Discord. You'll see it up in the comments section. And let's start a Discord server. Let's start this community, and let's have some fun, guys. And just remember, if you're Brendan Fraser and you don't win an award because somebody groped you, just say to yourself, when life gives me lemons, all I got to do is
make some hot, fresh popcorn.
We out, biatch.
Peace.